So let's get into case swapping this 3630 out. We're gonna let's take the front panel off. Take the power supply out that I put in here. That was a waste of time. Flip these up. Should just pull up. Screw it, I'm gonna get power tools. Power tools. Where's my power tools? Time to be screwing that shit. Bye. Disconnect GPU. Get that out of the way very carefully. Set her off to the side here. Out of harm's way for now. Power supply's gotta finish coming out. 24 pin off. Oh, come on. It's tight. CPU power off. Unplug the fan. I don't know what that is. I don't know what pins those are for. Intruder alert. I wonder if I gotta. There's the pins for the front panel. This is, I believe, audio. I don't know if there's any. Pull her out. Audio. All these SATA cables I'm gonna need here. Get them out of the way. USB 3.0, 2.0s. Fan I can leave plugged in. What the heck, that's for a speaker? Internal speakers way up there. Jeez, really? These clips? Which way do the clips go? Jeez Louise. I didn't want that going anywhere, I'll tell you that. Too bad they couldn't engineer the heat. They're moving the heat from this case better than they engineered these clips. Which way do these go? Oh, Chrysler. Can't see with these old eyes. Looks like I gotta pick here. Carefully figure them out here. Just get on there with a pick and pull up, I guess. And if they come off, they come off. Look at them. Overkill. Really? All that for this little wire for the internal speaker. The wire that they used for it's probably cost more than the internal speaker itself. Nice. So, all that stuff disconnected. Get that out of the way, we can go to town on the motherboard. So how many are there? Well, you can count them as we go here. Oops. Don't be as clumsy as I am either. You want to be careful with all these traces. PCBs on the PCB board here. And have a good magnetic screwdriver helps. Other than like this one. Should probably do a live stream on stuff like this. Nobody would watching me. So like that, I think, or did I miss one? I think that should be it. I forget one here. What's holding me up? What's holding me up here? Oh, I got this on the back here. I got the size. The VGA port. It's got the things on, I don't know, I got a 5mm hex here. It works. My little tool kit. Take them little, I forget what you call them, standoffs out. And then we should come out. Hopefully. What's this for? Pull up on it. Yep, just pull up on it. That's the USB-C adapter connector. That's kind of a chintzy little connector. We ain't gonna have USB. My new case ain't gonna have the C capabilities, which kind of sucks. Just gonna be gentle here, I guess. Oh, I hook it on. I'll lift her up. Probably wouldn't hurt to have all the stuff out of your way. But there we are. There's the motherboard out, just like that. And get this power supply out, finished. Probably put these in a baggie and put them back at this case in case I want to put this back in here. Or you can always use this case for another cheapy ITX motherboard build too if you wanted, I guess. Hard drive. There we go. Hard drive out of there. Oh, that broke. Cheap shit. Cheap shit. Yeah, you could probably monkey around with this case, pull these hard drive cages out, put another fan in here. I don't want to monkey around with all that. This is my case I'm going to be putting in. I got this off of the marketplace. 40 bucks. It's new. It's a SATA case, glass front. It already's got 4 fans in it. So Same, I don't know if that's the AM07G. Huh. Great instructions. Let's get this set off to the side. Let's get the power supply in. Ketchup and mustard. Our power supply's in. There's a lot of cables. There ain't much room for cables in here, I'll tell you that. This hard drive cage in the way. Just want to get her on its back for now. I'm gonna put a honking CPU cooler on there, so we'll get the CPU cooler on the motherboard. Hopefully I should go in there. Looks like we line up here. Got plenty of room at the top. I could run an AIO cooler if I wanted up top. Kind of nice. Cable out here for the fans. Plug in my CPU fan here. Give her a fancy dancy twisty wisty. Oops. What the f? I can't even. Just RGBs, which I ain't gonna have. Get out of the way. All right. I think I'm gonna have to. Well, we need to screw it in. Here, buddy. We need to screw it in. This I'm gonna use. Screwed in. Where's our USB 3.0? How do I want to attack this? Do I want to come up from here? Best here if I come up through here. Come up through here, or it'd probably be best to come up through there. Because I'm gonna have to come through here with the 24 pin. Try to not make a big tangled mess here. Top one. And ketchup and mustard goes in here. arrows are on the front to this one. Get that cable through there to get it closer. One pin over there. Now what? CPU power. Come here, you. Come up here. Perfect. It's going to be a mess back here for now. Just bear with us. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. I'm going to have to take a break and figure out the front panel. So I was looking for the, like, okay, I got to hook up the front panel here, and like, well, I need to find schematics. Well, the schematics are right on the motherboard, so I just took a picture of my camera. There's the schematics of the pinout. They're right next to it here, real small fine print. So there's the schematics for your pinout. And so I hooked them up. I don't know what, I don't think the power button will be that bad, but we'll see. Apparently another guy, I don't know, he says he got to ground something, but I just hooked the power button up to pins 6 and 8. Power button and then ground, because it should be alright. I don't think, because they usually just ground them across anyways, unless that's, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might have to take a pin from an old case or something and tear it off and ground it to the chassis or something. But I would think this board would be grounded, unless, I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. So we got the audio, 3.0 power, CPU power, fan, CPU fan is plugged in. Nice bright red connector for us. So don't complain about ketchup, mustard, red connector. You're gonna have to black that out. If I really wanted to, I could spray paint it, I guess. Stiff stuff. Used to working with stiff stuff though. Get in there. Looks a little more stereotypicals. Not gonna be pretty, it just needs to function. I feel like I'm missing something on the bottom. I'm sure I'll get like some CPU fan errors or something, or case fan errors. Hard drive for the hard drives. I can just put it back here. You guys like this wire management, don't you? Look at that. And this is for the fancy fans. I ain't gonna be able to get in there. Oh yeah, I can. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, got it. There's a lot of room here. A lot of room back here in this case to just jam it in there. There's our Molex. And the old trick is if you want to have the fans go faster or slower, you can spin the Molex around and put a forcer in there. Shh, don't tell anybody that. I told you that. I think we're golden. I got the hard drive in. I'll put the back cover on so we don't have to look at that mess. And if I there, that looks much better. Doesn't look horrible, does it? Does it look horrible? I've seen worse for a quick job. Want me to plug it in and see if it lights up and blows up? You want to do it on the bench here? Put them on the glass. The glass still got the plastic on it. I like peeling the plastic. Need my knobs. Play with my knobs. I think these are supposed to be captured, but I uncaptured that one. Not a bad looking little case here. Let's see if we get sparks to fly. We'll give you an initial little fire up here. My Messerschmitt. Power off. Something went ouija. Ooh. Uh-oh. Didn't like that. Oh, that does that when you turn it on. Is the power switch gonna work? Power button works. I got something flashing back there. I don't know what's flashing back there. See that flashing back there? Behind the GPU. Only one way to find out here if I plug her in the pewter. LEDs, switch. The only bad thing is my LED CPU cooler will not follow the LEDs of the fans. Green, blue, yellow, blue, light blue, magenta, cyan, or cyan, magenta, sorry, orangey, brighter light blue. Oh, I kind of like that one. A bad looking case for 40 bucks with the fans. I know it's not as fancy as your new fancy shit. How does this come off? Front panel comes off. Tear that plastic off. Nice little removable mesh here. How did that slips in down there and pins in up there? Kind of nice. Kind of like it. All right. Well, I'm gonna repower her down and hook her up to the real test. And do some. Oh, we got nice flow here. Flow at the back. I got anything to suck? Old snot rag. Any snot rags? It wants to hold it. Anywho, off to tester land. So here we go. Let's fire up and see what happens. Well, we got the Dell screen. Got some blippity blips. Oh, We got a power button cable failure, a previous fan failure, and a motherboard fan failure. Let's press the F1 key and see what happens. Will it let me go and boot up with all that? It said previous. It looks like we're going to Windows. So if you don't mind hitting F1 every time you start up, you could probably run it the way it is, but make sure you got a CPU fan. Maybe it'll, I don't know, we're going to Windows, looks like. La-la. We're in Windows. Ain't a bad looking little setup. 40. So I had a little issue. It doesn't like this CPU cooler, which Dell is kind of finicky on it. So I'm just going to put the stock one back in. That way we'll put the stock CPU cooler back in. Also I put a fan I had laying around up here, a 140 millimeter, to at least hook a fan up to the motherboard to try to clear out some of these errors. I'm getting 3 errors, of course, the power switch one, and then the motherboard fan failure, which I don't know if the CPU one or because I didn't have a fan hooked up. So I'm going to go back to the stock CPU cooler and at least take that out of the equation here. If you go in the diagnostics, it's showing the Dell diagnostics in the BIOS. Of course, it's showing the USB-C is not hooked up, the intruder switch isn't hooked up, but I'm not getting a fault for them on startup. I'll post, you'll see it on the video, the faults I'm getting when I first fired it up. Kind of getting ahead of myself. You'll see. If you're this far, you've seen it. I'm just gonna put the original cooler back in. Make the old Dell motherboard happy. So, again, we go off to Tester Land. So after doing putting the CPU cooler back on the stock one and adding that other fan, I'd be interested to see if I unplug that other fan if I'll still get a failure or a warning. But now I'm just down to the power button cable failure. That's the one I'm gonna have to do a little research on, I think, to see what exactly I gotta do. Apparently you gotta ground one of the pins to get rid of it. Otherwise you can just press F1. F1, and if you don't mind hitting F1 every time, you could leave it at that. But I think I'll take it a step further and try to ground it and clear it out. So we got this case swap, this 3630. Got rid of almost all the faults but one. I'm getting the power switch failure fault, I think. Yeah, the power switch failure fault when I start up. So what I did is I went online and ordered these DuPont, they're called DuPont jumper wires. I don't know, I got the long ones right away, the female DuPont jumper wires. They come in the rainbow of colors. So I'm just going to peel this one off. It's missing the plastic on the other end. Peel it off and strip it. Suppose I could have got my stripper ready before I... But anyways, I'm going to put this end on pin 9. And then I'm going to run the wire, strip it, and run the wire through the back and just connect it to one of the screws in the back. And that should ground it to the case and get rid of my power switch fault, hopefully. It'd be nice to have these around in case you want to monkey around with jumping other stuff to the front panel or something. I don't know. They plug right in. I don't know. I don't know if they plug right in. I haven't tried them yet. So I'm going to plug my little connector here into pin 9, which is this bottom left hand pin. Hopefully these pins should work, or this connector should work. I'm hoping. You guys see? You guys don't care. You get the picture. No, it don't really go on there. Oh yeah, it does. Well, it goes on there pretty nice. I don't know where my wire strippers are. So we're just going to do that. Strip her off. Run her through the back here. You can find a screw or something. I can't see because all this light in my eyes. It's really messy back here. This is just going to be temporary. You dig? And I cut it too short to put her over there. Let's just unscrew one of these. I don't want to put it under the case there. No. What's this screw up here for? There's a screw up here. There's a screw up there. Make this tail a little longer. This is just the ground, so. Hopefully this will get rid of my power button failure. And that's it. Let's go back and plug her in and see what we got. We'll just find a screw or something somewheres. If I wouldn't, you'll find something. So here we go. Let's see if we get rid of my front panel error without causing any other problems. What was that little glitch? There we have it. Where's my camera action? One case swapped Dell 3630. And hard to see in there with all the reflection. Too much reflection. It's not fancy. I didn't say it would be fancy. It's just gotta work and function. I could clean it up. Yeah, it needs a little. I need a I/O panel back there. but this is gonna come back out of here anyways. This was just for testing purposes. I'm gonna put it back in its other case and then maybe modify that one to make it flow better. But anyways, ain't bad little setup here. If you're in RGBs and you want a little case swapping with your 3630 because it's running too hot, now it's not. Be out. I gotta mess with one of that thing again. Old Dell dual core. I'm gonna put the Q6600 in her, and never mind, that's another story.